Chapter 40. The Amalgamation. The moment the iron scepter touched the skin, something changed within. There was no longer any doubt about what was happening, but rather, fearlessness directed each thought within the mind to make every decision. There was no fear to speak the truth, since this iron scepter ruled over everything. And now the time had come for us to make our great commitment to bring it all into fruition. Once you see the light, you understand there is something even more powerful than the darkest night. And once you become the light, we see that without such a fire, the entire world would have no life. Why, without the light of our spiritual insight, the world would be led by ignorance, where morality and virtue would disappear. And there are such leaders who try their hardest to extinguish the spiritual light, and instead they promote fear. The deceiver went on to build walled borders where he pushed the light out. Next, he started to lock up the light keepers and make sure no one saw the light, while he kept the luminous ones in cages and vaults. And then, those immigrants he didn't want, they were arrested and separated from their families to be an example for all others. Then he tossed them in prisons where they were surrounded by snakes and alligators. The deceiver went to great lengths to distract the masses from the luminous ones, but still we radiated so that the truth would be known. He went to great lengths to hide our light, and the darker our world got, the more luminous our light shone. As long as there is one luminous being left, then our hope is not lost. But how would our troubled world ever find its way out of such a mess, especially when the deceiver began to convince his followers that he was sent by God? On the way back into the world, it was clear the deceiver began his next distraction, and so he constructed his wild plan to enchant the masses. He rallied the world's most powerful men as he lured them in, and although this plan took years, it was also clear while wearing the glasses of emptiness. And so his legion of powerful people were woven throughout many nations, where him and his friends would invite the powerful men and women to a private island. The only way he could control them was if he had dirt on them. And so him and a best friend created a private estate where anything could happen, while the rest of the world remained distracted and ignorant. As many powerful, famous, and wealthy people were led to the island, so his power grew. But still I couldn't believe how he did all of this so secretly, until I realized he hypnotized all these people by feeding them an intoxicating punch that him and his closest friends would brew. As time went on, anyone who went to the island drank his special punch, and although I knew it was a type of dark poison, still, I couldn't quite tell what horrible spell or potion was put into it. One by one, his special punch infected the minds of the most powerful people upon the planet. But alas, there was a great breakthrough when beings of the light sought to uncover much of his hidden evidence. Right as it was about to come out, the deceiver restructured his command control. Firing people at will, he locked up the evidence so tight, even though his name was connected and the whole world knew. These records were hidden, but the deceiver wouldn't let the evidence free. And so, in one dramatic attempt to conquer the world and extinguish the spiritual light, the deceiver went on to throw one giant party. His grand idea was to host a battle royale, and so he built a great wrestling ring. From here, he would go on to serve his deceptive punch to anyone who had yet to drink it, while the fight itself would distract the masses and keep them bound in the chains of ignorance. Word spread that this battle royale was the greatest fight of all time, and he summoned the world's strongest and most powerful fighters. The deceiver wanted to include all the wealthy and powerful people, so he reserved seats for them during the fight where they would be spectators. Not only this, but he planned that the night before the fight, there would be the greatest party ever, which included the most beautiful and sexy women. He wanted to draw in the most influential men by enticing their aggressive and sexual instincts. And so he did this by deceiving a group called the Mixed Masculine Association. As the battle royale got closer, the deceiver announced that at the end of this week, the world would witness the greatest fight. Even Stitches, the spirit of honor, was tricked when the deceiver came into power. He gave Stitches a seat in the front row to commentate, where Stitches alone would hold the mic. With only 1 week left to the great fight, I kept my light far away from where it would be. Yet from this distance, I gazed through the glasses of emptiness, which allowed me to find clarity. After each sunset, the world grew dark, but this is precisely when the light among us came to life. And with the glasses of emptiness, I saw the luminous beings among us, but I also became aware of the corruption that went on through the night while the monstrous demons would hide. Oh, the glasses of emptiness were so clear, and the more I saw, the more I became hyper-aware. Seeing through the emptiness grants us infinite vision to see how things really are underneath the surface. Why, that deceiver was an excellent con artist, and he had a way of covering things up. But the light among us has a unique purpose, and so it seems our strengths came to life the darker it got. Late one night, a few days before the big fight, I gazed through the walls of a secret ballroom where the deceiver and his friends really came alive. They invited many rich and influential men to gather before they brought a young girl into the center of the floor. They all smiled and catcalled her before one large wrestler came forth, got naked, and then raped her. They say the truth sets us free, but I couldn't stand to see such misery. And so, one step after the other, the fire within erupted from all sides of me. Surely someone in power must do something. Those men were cowards as they remained completely silent. Now my gaze shifted towards the only good man who I felt could do anything about this. Oh, I called out to Honorable Stitches. But why did he stay silent upon that mic? It seemed he was waiting for the actual fight. Now the wrestler grabbed this young girl's head and made her suffocate through sexual torture. She would choke, spit up, and turn various colors as she begged for relief, but the wrestler held her face down when another man came up behind her. Oh, it all happened behind closed doors, and after the wrestler and his friend were finished, I saw the deceiver come forth to fuck her. But after only a moment, he erupted and began to spray semen all over her and the floor. He couldn't stop. Now the deceiver covered the men along with that 13-year-old girl. The wrestlers were disgusted, and everyone was so appalled that no one spoke a word, and so the crime committed never got any closure. Oh, and when I looked to Stitches, he had a twinkle in his eye, as if he was waiting for just the right moment to expose those pedophiles. After all the men left that night, I saw that the deceiver and his closest servants began to bottle up the pedophile cum and stash it in a hidden closet. Another day passed before another party began where fine food was catered. Again, it happened the same as before. And as the deceiver waited for his turn, after only a moment, he entered into a young girl and went on to explode a fraction of a second later. Semen and sweat were everywhere before new women were brought forth. And if they didn't agree, they'd find a new way to rape her. And if she tried to speak out, they'd go on to kill her. Over and over, from the private island to a child's private parts, the deceiver would bottle up his friend's pedophile cum and stash it away while not a soul dared to speak up. The deceiver went on to record a great list of everyone who came to participate, as he threatened to expose them if word got out. He even recorded them, and this was the type of footage you'd want hidden. And so the deceiver devised another plan to fool everyone upon the pedophile island. That's when he hired his director of intellect named Cash Bug Eyes. From the moment everyone saw Cash Bug Eyes, they knew he'd never last. For goodness sakes, he wasn't the same color as them, and so everyone knew Cash Bug Eyes was already on the chopping block. The deceiver even tricked Bug Eyes, as he made him hide the evidence along with the pedophile cum. Why, the moment Cash Bug Eyes sifted through the evidence, his eyes bulged in shock. Oh, Cash Bug Eyes even spoke with Stitches in a public televised show, like it was two friends in on a big joke. Stitches was rather curious what Cash knew, but why was Cash Bug Eyes holding out? Oh, Stitches used his mic to talk to all his friends, and I thought he was a man of honor, because an honorable person would have exposed the dirty pedophile men. Oh, Cash didn't want to release the files, and it seemed he couldn't separate the list of pages due to the giant globs of the deceiver's pedophile cum. The list and the evidence even included the list of the raped women, but the deceiver promised Cash Bug Eyes that if he revealed it, then he'd die, just like the victims who spoke up against him. Oh, Cash Bug Eyes chained his soul to the deceiver and would go down with him. And so, when the semen finally dried upon the hidden evidence, they abandoned the private island and set a date for a great fight upon the Pale House's lawn to entertain the ignorant ones who were still lost in the darkness. But oh God, why did you give Stitches the mic if he's just going to sit there pretending he's not aware of any of this? And Cash Bug Eyes, why do you lie? For the things you hide can expose all our government's crimes. And isn't that your department as the head of intellect? Oh, Bug Eyes, why? Now, the longer this went on, the deceiver schemed and built up his team, and anyone who disagreed was thrown out or pushed onto the streets. Because behind the scenes, they'd continue to cover children with semen from their eyes to their feet. Oh, their little dicks would spray cum all over the young ones, and they'd alternate between flying between the other islands to the most grand estates. Not only that, but he teamed up with the world's richest men, with all the intellectuals and their selfish brilliance, even though they had no wisdom. What the hell happened to the honor of real men? Oh, I hate to admit it, but I had reason to believe that the deceiver tricked all of them. As I gazed to Stitches and his followers, I saw how the stress began to eat them alive. Even with all the millions and billions, it seemed money couldn't solve their inner agony. Why, they single-handedly brought a pedophile into the highest position of authority, and they'd become so timid and afraid because they didn't want the deceiver to come on them, their children, or their families. Oh, how the deceiver loved to come all over the young ones, and I felt that he hid a little kinky secret of how he wanted to spread his pedophile cum upon everyone. He'd fantasize about so many women and children when his little wiener would spray bucket loads of cum upon everyone. And so the deceiver welcomed forth different molesters, some of who were wrestlers, for the great fight. Because you see, once you get money and power, no one likes to speak up and tell the truth, but rather than fight the divine fight, they behave like pedophile cowards. Oh, Stitches, now is the time to speak up and fight. All these fighters fought for money, for pride, respect, or some wanted to provide for their family with a home and security. But what about the young women who were raped and abused by the pedophiles? Oh, Stitches, what if those were your children? Well, I think we know what would happen. You'd enter into the fight, rip off the pedophiles' heads, and shoot them between their eyes, or gut them with a knife. Soon we'll all know the truth. And do you want to be the one who stayed silent as they raped our world's youth? It seems only a real warrior of honor could stand up against such injustice. Why, we'd have to be brave to enter into such a holy war. Now the president of the Mixed Masculine Association came to Stitch's side and began to rub his shoulders as he looked deep within his eyes. Now that man spoke. Don't expose the deceiver. You'll ruin our Mixed Masculine Association and everything we've worked so hard for. Let us just get through this next event. We'll make it the greatest show on earth with one epic fight, said Mr. Colorless. Oh, Stitches, now comes the day when the real warriors get their respect. You and your so-called honorable warriors battle with muscle and brawn. But why does it seem that it's the child molesters you've come to protect? Is that what you fought so hard for? Are these the people you wish to partner up with? As we perceive, so we see. So is this something to stay calm about? And so when it comes to the deceiver, I just wonder, why do you remain oh so silent? Well, we all know why, and that's because the deceiver tricked and lied to everyone. All the hidden files of the pedophile's papers are glued together with the molester's semen, and it seems Cash Bug Eyes is still afraid to open them. As my gaze looked up to Stitches, there I found Clancy and all his other friends near. Oh, we were all running out of time, and so our life is a great reflection of the commitment, and this decides if our legacy is truly great. Otherwise, what happens to all our hard work? Will your legacy be remembered in support of the pedophile secrets? Are you the one who stayed silent? Now with so much at risk, I understand that it must be so difficult to take part to expose a pedophile list. But if we dig deeper, you and I have a choice to change the world for the better. But if you want to protect your selfishness, if you want to live your life and bask in the glory of your individual hard work, then let the pedophile ring of semen sprayers continue to hide as they exist. Meanwhile, those files dripped with pedophile semen, and all those names, flight logs, and private islands were connected into other countries. Those files were covered with the semen, and no one wanted to touch them. Oh, Stitches, can you see the power of the imagination? But isn't there something stronger than that? So an honorable warrior could not stay on the sidelines, but rather, the most honorable warrior would have to fight back. Why would we let the pedophiles do what they do when it leads our world to ruin? That's not love. To let our world rot because the deceiver wants to spray his youthful lovers with semen? Real love is a choice to honor the evolution of our spirit. Self-love demands we put our life on the line for the highest commitment. That's when I went to meet with Stitches. Then I whispered, I want to fight. Get me on the fight card. You'll die if you get into that ring, he said. Doesn't matter. He nodded, and I passed him my name. when I realized neither him nor I could stand to see what was happening. And so it seemed that both of us had found a way to answer our great calling and commitment. Maybe he was right, that I alone could not defeat the wicked army, but I knew of a woman with a divine knife, and so I went off in search of Shruti. The trek took me to the ocean before I found her. Oh, her naked body merged with every wave and drop of liquid when I reflected on the gentle aspects of water.
In your heart, you know what must be done. So why have you come to me?
Asked Shruti. Because there is a great battle, and I fear the worst villains will continue to wreak havoc upon humanity. What are we to do? How can we help all beings be freed? Please, Shruti, should I remain on the sidelines and let someone else fix this? Or how else can we come into peace? I feel fear at the ideas that run through my heart and mind, and yet you alone are fearless. Please, Shruti, come forth and support the light that lives within the heart of all of us.
The moment you know your real being, you are afraid of nothing. Death gives power and freedom. To be free in the world, you must die to the world. Then the universe is your own. It becomes your body, an expression. The happiness of being absolutely free is beyond description. Do not fear this battle, but rather I will join you, and together we will offer our lives to it,
said Shruti. What are you saying?
If you truly believe in something, we must be willing to offer our lives to it. This is what separates the darkness from the light, and so we find ourselves in the perfect opportunity to make the choice to honor our soul's highest commitment,
said Shruti. Then God help us. Allow it. May we unite with all of it. But how must we do this?
Trust it. Surrender to it. If you truly care about a cause or an idea, you'll be willing to offer yourself to it, to give up your life for it,
said Shruti. And what if we have to fight for it? What would you say if peace and love weren't enough to bring forth justice? What then? What happens when dark and degrading leaders spy over us? Meanwhile, they produce more demons among us, the selfish, the over-ambitious, the helpless, and all the separation between the light and the darkness. That wickedness has a central incarnation, and it is the deceiver of the demons. Great Shruti, there must be a way we can offer them proper wisdom to illuminate everyone. What then?
You speak of the amalgamation. Give me your staff, the iron scepter, and I will merge you to make a united creation. You know, prayer and devotion aren't the only paths to God, and so we can lead through artistic expression. And here we are. Lend me your iron scepter, and we'll begin the amalgamation,
said Shruti. Then what will happen?
You'll have made your commitment,
she said. And after that?
Shall we?
Said Shruti. When she took the iron scepter, I just let go. And in that moment, she pulled out a wooden instrument shaped like a box and began to play the Shruti upon the shoreline. A hum resonated through the harmonium as it mimicked a human lung. The breath of air came to life and created an awe-inspiring vibration.
When we have an experience with the numinous, the mystical, the non-dual, or a peak experience, the only rational response is silence or art. Through us, feeling is how we expand, and so our hidden light begins to radiate. All choices are valid, and this vibration perpetuates. Nature is a manifestation of God. It's love all the way. Yet I find that a question remains. Why must a rose bush grow thorns? And the answer is simple. We must protect the light of life. This iron scepter is far more intense than the thorns of a rose, and now I pair it with the spirit of a burning ember. And so I melt this iron scepter and cast it permanently into your heart center,
said Shruti. She instructed us to lay our body flat when she began the secret operation. With the eye's gaze upon the infinite stars, she melted the iron scepter after a prayer before the amalgamation brought the scepter into the heart of humanity. Once it settled in the heart, the mind was in a state of peaceful serenity. This pure presence could see through even the things that made me most angry. And somehow Shruti had a way to allow me to see this world so differently.
However we perceive, we see,
she said. Then this moment is immortality. It's all happening spontaneously. This happening is the pure presence that reaches on endlessly, universally, harmoniously. But why then must the demons be allowed to overtake the vibration of serenity?
Hell is empty. All the devils are here. And with this iron scepter in your heart center, you can now surrender. No demon or devil will ever defeat the light within us. You are the eternal victor, and anything that occurs near you will expand into an even greater reflection and ripple into the bounds of creation. Be it energy of serenity or wrath, it all depends on that which is cast. Oh, we prostrate to you, monarch of fury, who out of great compassion plays a wrathful role in order to tame those who refuse to be tamed. O wisdom of the angels, of the three abodes, may you condense into this one,
said Shruti. After the amalgamation, I stood up and understood that if you really believe in something, the only way it comes to fruition is if you're willing to offer your life to it. Instead of speaking, she disappeared under the ocean when only bubbles seemed to respond. And when she re-emerged, she brought up a hidden artifact within her hands. What is this?
A sickle. Take it,
said Shruti as she handed me the sickle. What do I do with this sickle?
Thrust thy sickle and reap, for the time has come for thee to reap, for the harvest of earth is ripe,
said Shruti. And what will happen then?
We give glory to God, for the hour has come,
said Shruti. Beneath the clouds was the once great city, which the people wished could be made great again. This was all centered upon a pale house, and in its lawn was a wrestling ring.
The city has fallen, that once great city, because the city made all nations drink of the wine of her wrath and her fornication,
said Shruti. There we saw the deceiver who tricked the humans, and around the pale house were the deceiver's followers.
Whomever worships the deceiver and his image shall drink of the wine of God's wrath,
said Shruti. Any final thoughts? I asked Shruti.
Revel in the spotlight,
she said. After that, with the sharp sickle in hand, I went to the footsteps of the pale house's front lawn. There they had built a great ring where a battle was set to begin, and on cue, the greatest fighters were called to join in. As I entered into the fighting grounds, I found myself surrounded by living demons. There beside the ring was the politician who stole my notebook, and Cash Bug-Eyes looked so terrified to open the giant pedophile list, which was dripping with semen, because he didn't want to expose the world's worst villains. Oh, the false prophet was there too, and centered between all of them was the wicked deceiver. Oh, and look at that! They had brought a man to commentate upon his mic for the upcoming battle, and it was none other than Stitches.